سنای ایالات متحده آمریکا، کنفرانس پیرامون مذاکرات اتمی با رژیم آخوندی با حضور سناتورها و شخصیت‌های برجسته آمریکا و کارشناسان ارشد هسته‌ای. سناتور تام کاتن، عضو کمیته قوای مسلح و کمیته منتخب اطلاعات. سناتور کاتن جوانترین عضو سنای آمریکا، جمهوری‌خواه از ایالت آرکانزاس است و پیش از آن نماینده کنگره بود.
I and 46 other senators are focused on stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon.
وی تدوین کننده نامه 47 سناتور جمهوری‌خواه به سران رژیم بود و در بحث‌های سنا بر سر تصویب لایحه تایید توافق اتمی بر لزوم اتخاذ سیاستی قاطع در قبال رژیم تاکید داشت. تام کاتن در اسفند سال 91 در سخنرانی خود در جلسه رسمی کنگره با حمایت از قطعنامه ارائه شده از سوی قاضی تدپو در محکومیت حمله موشکی 21 بهمن ماه همان سال به لیبرتی بر استاتوی اشرفی‌ها به عنوان پناهنده تاکید کرد و گفت:
I look forward to the day when these refugees can return home to Iran once the tyrannical regime there has fallen. A day that might have been hastened if President Obama had stood with brave Iranian protesters in 2009 instead of coddling the theocratic mullahs there. Let us not make that mistake again.
سناتور تام تیلیس، عضو کمیته‌های قوای مسلح، قضایی و بازنشستگان ارتش در سنای آمریکا. سناتور تیلیس از حزب جمهوری‌خواه از ایالت کارولینای شمالی است و پیش از ورود به سنا در ژانویه 2015 سخنگوی مجلس نمایندگان در این ایالت بود. دکتر اولی هاینونن، معاون پیشین مدیر کل آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی، مدیر بخش عملیاتی آژانس و مسئول پرونده اتمی رژیم آخوندی. اولی هاینونن از فنلاند، محقق ارشد علوم و روابط بین‌المللی در مرکز بلفر در دانشکده امور دولتی در دانشگاه هاروارد، به مدت 27 سال در آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی در وین کار کرده و از جمله معاون مدیر کل آژانس و رئیس بخش پادمان‌های آن بوده است. وی همچنین مسئولیت گروه‌های بازرسان را در تحقیقات درباره برنامه‌های اتمی موجب نگرانی حکومت‌های مختلف بر عهده داشته و از جمله تأسیسات اتمی رژیم ایران، کره شمالی و سوریه را مورد بازرسی قرار داده است و رهبری اقدامات آژانس برای یافتن و از بین بردن شبکه‌های توسعه اتمی را نیز عهده‌دار بوده است. سفیر جوزف دیترانی، رئیس سازمان اتحاد اطلاعات و امنیت ملی، مشاور ارشد پیشین مدیر اطلاعات ملی آمریکا، مدیر پیشین مرکز ملی ضد اشاعه تسلیحاتی، فرستاده ویژه در مذاکرات 6 کشور با کره شمالی.
Sir, I just want to add from the Assistant Secretary Kelly that that's part of what we do in the working group. We look at all the issues. Indeed,
سفیر مارک گینزبرگ، سفیر پیشین آمریکا در مراکش، مشاور پیشین کاخ سفید در امور خاورمیانه. سفیر رابرت جوزف، معاون پیشین وزارت خارجه آمریکا و نماینده ویژه در امور منع گسترش تسلیحات اتمی. در آستانه رأیگیری روی لایحه تایید توافق اتمی با رژیم، کنفرانسی در سنای آمریکا در روز 6 می 2015 تحت عنوان بعد از چارچوب توافق قدم بعدی چیست؟ با حضور و سخنرانی سناتورها، متخصصین ارشد اتمی و شخصیت‌های برجسته آمریکایی، نمایندگان دیپلماتیک از سفارتخانه‌های شماری از کشورها و نمایندگان رسانه‌های آمریکایی و بین‌المللی برگزار شد. توجه شما را به گزیده‌ای از سخنرانی‌های ایراد شده در این کنفرانس جلب می‌کنیم.
Thank you very much for being here. I would like to, first of all, you have an extraordinarily distinguished panel here, a group of experts who, as I said to them earlier, I hope that they will be doctors on call for you, because it's complicated enough as the Senate is considering the Corker-Menendez-Cardin bill, which may go to the floor in the next 24 to 48 hours, that the Obama administration is going to be long gone and you will be left having to assess, based on what is agreed to in that legislation, what the ramifications are of any agreement that emerges from what essentially was started on April 2 in Lausanne, Switzerland, this so-called framework agreement. The panelists here are each in their own way very distinguished persons who have come here in order to help provide you answers that you will need in order to help advise your members, as well as to make you an independent expert on the issues that govern this framework agreement. Sitting to his immediate right is Senator Thom Tillis. Senator, I want to thank you for helping organize and supporting this event. Senator Tillis from North Carolina is a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, and he also sits on the Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Special Committee on Aging. He was elected in 2006 to the North Carolina House of Representatives and selected by his peers to be the Speaker of the House from 2011 to 2014. He was elected to the United States Senate and assumed his office in 2015. Senator, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I'm going to be brief. It's an honor to sit up here with this distinguished panel, plus me. I mean, they're the ones who have the expertise, and I'm looking forward to being able to hear their comments. Just to give you an idea of where I'm from, you know, up until December of this year, I was Speaker of the House. My idea of foreign relations at that point was how to deal with South Carolina and Tennessee. Now we're in a completely different world, and I've tried to do everything that I could to ramp up from the knowledge that I had just studying the issue out of personal interest into getting in front of the right people so that I can make informed decisions. If you take a look at the challenge that we have ahead of us, is trying to communicate the consequences of a bad deal and get to a point to where we can get the American people to understand that a no deal may potentially be better than a bad deal. I had someone in the press ask me, is there an agreement that the president could put forward that you would potentially support? I said, of course. Now, current course and speed, it doesn't appear as though it will satisfy me in terms of the inspections regimen and a number of other things that have to go in place. The real snapback of sanctions, the kinds of enforcement mechanisms that we need, but I'm open to it. But I think a very important part of my role as a senator is going to be to really understand the intricacies of the deal. And the Corker bill gave us that opportunity. It also gives the American people and the press and others an opportunity for 30 days to really increase their focus on this issue. I'm not sure that the average American understands what's at stake here. I also think that the 90-day clock that ticks going forward in terms of confirming and certifying that Iran is living up to their terms of the agreement is very important. It will keep this at the top of the mind of the American people. And I appreciate you all being here, too, to get educated. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you. I just want to come by and make a few comments. I'm not going to get into the details or the technical nature of the proposal that the administration adduced last month, or what might be in a final agreement. Dr. Heinonen just did a very good job of it, would do a better job than I, no doubt, because his scholarship and experience has been stellar on this point. I want to make a broader point, a point I know that matters to so many people in this room as native-born Iranians who have immigrated to this country, often under duress, or hopefully to the Iranians who are watching right now in Iran, who are struggling under the yoke of a evil tyranny. The problem with Iran is not at root that they might have nuclear weapons. The problem with Iran is the nature of their regime. And in the end, the reason why you're asking this question about whether we can have successful verification and inspections is because we do not trust the Iranian regime, nor can we trust them. We know what it looks like when a country wants to turn the page, wants to engage in nuclear disarmament and become a part of the civilized world. South Africa did it in the late 1980s and early 1990s. But we know that Iran is going to start trying to exploit every loophole and cheat on every part of this deal, because that's what they always have done, and that is what is in the nature of the regime to do. And until the nature of the Iranian regime changes, we cannot not allow them to obtain the world's worst weapons. And a normal country that wants to be part of the civilized world does not execute its citizens, hanging them from construction cranes for the mildest forms of political dissent. A normal country that wants to be part of the civilized world does not destabilize multiple countries in its own region: Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen. A normal country does not export terror, is not the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism, according to our own State Department. A normal country does not seize after firing shots over the bow of a commercial cargo ship, just as Iran did last week. A normal country does not pursue nuclear weapons in the way that Iran has done time and time again, even though they've been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to not pursue them. That's the fundamental problem with Iran. And that's why, in the end, the nature of Iran's regime has to change. The Iranian people, who have a long, distinguished history going back thousands of years, deserve a government that protects their rights, that live at peace with their neighbors. And the Ayatollahs in Iran do not care about the Iranian people. They have tried to send it down the memory hole, but Ayatollah Khomeini, the original supreme leader, was on the record saying that he put Islamic revolution ahead of the interests and the culture and the history of the Persian nation. He recast himself as a nationalist during the Iraq-Iran war, but that at root is their #1 goal: Islamic revolution with nuclear weapons if necessary. That's why we have to stop a dangerous nuclear deal with Iran before it starts, and why every chance we get, we have to confront Iran's regional aggression, and we have to stand with the Iranian people, which we did not do in 2009 during the Green Revolution, which is probably the original mistake in this president's Iran policy. If we get the opportunity to do it again, it's an opportunity we have to seize. Iran should be a natural ally of the United States. But until the Ayatollahs no longer rule Iran, we have to be an ally of the Iranian people. And we have to work for regional security, and we have to work against the tyrants in Tehran for our own security, for the security of the region and the world, and for the fundamental rights of the Iranian people. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for letting me come speak to you. Please keep it up. We can win.